me. And I was like, oh, that's it. I'm muting this conversation. But we're going to go live here 2 minutes earlier than usual because we're going to need extra time to set things up tonight. Big night tonight on the podcast. Very exciting night. Chris Calais and Mark Ingalls are down at AMS, American Meteorological Society meeting. Very, very exciting stuff. How are you guys doing?
Good. I was accidentally connected to the meeting while watching Mandalorian.
It seems like it, yeah. Yeah,
I thought I disconnected that.
no, your audio is still on, but I couldn't talk to you. I was like trying to tell you, the Mandalorian takes place like 4 or 5 years after Luke destroys, the Death Star is destroyed in Return of the Jedi.
Which
So
movie are you talking about?
That's Hank and Hilding we got there right now. And it's good you're here because this is the time of the show where I'm trying to set up the live stream and make it all, online. And I'm supposed to be saying things like hit like, share, subscribe. Welcome to the Comedeorological Report podcast. Time, and we start recording for radio and TV and podcast at the top of the hour proper. But for now, we're doing this. And I'm just setting everything up so that I can share the links and get things out there, Hilding, Hank, tell me about your weeks, guys. I haven't seen you.
I know it's windy tonight here at Wilkie. It's we got blowing snow issues in the area. Roads aren't so great. And it's quite warm despite the wind. It's like really soft, melty type snow out there right now.
I don't get used to it. Wait till I show you here in a minute.
Yeah, we've got
Frankie
plenty warm here too.
Frankie put on weather watchers. How fast does people drive on the highway, including Coquihalla Highway?
Too fast sometimes.
Getting the live stream out there onto the blue sky, the Bluetooth, the blue web, the winter web, the interweb, the everything web. I've almost got that achieved. Chris Calais is showing up here from New Orleans right now. He's just hooking up.
Nolans.
From New Orleans.
Hey. You guys hear me?
I can hear you right fine.
Sweet. I'm just about to round the bend into Bourbon Street here.
I can't quite see you yet because I'm still putting things on the internet. But
okay.
Make sure you turn your camera sideways when we get to TV time.
Okay, that's a little bit more pain in the ass, but yeah, I'll do it.
I got the stand now, and it sucks carrying it around.
All right, I'm coming down Bourbon Street. Hopefully people don't mind being recorded because I don't have any way to prevent that. So
excellent. I'm almost with you here.
So I'm gonna find some good live music since this is the pre-show. So I just wanted to mention that here we have the memorial to the people who died during that horrible terrorist attack on New Year's Eve. 15 dead and 39 injured, I believe is the count. So yeah, that's the memorial right there. So, but I can actually walk in the middle of the street here because there's no cars. So I'll just keep heading south here on Bourbon Street. And this next block will have quite a bit of live music. So
I wonder how often it's open to traffic. I never realized they sometimes drove down there.
So there's a couple. You can't actually drive on Bourbon Street, but I don't know I think you used to be able to, but honestly, this should just be pedestrian. Honestly, because there's so much foot traffic.
Yeah.
So here we go. You're about to get the vibe here. You guys ready for it?
We're ready for it.
All right, man.
We even got you pinned. So all our reactions don't distract from, at least I think not. I don't know what the live stream shows. The Bourbon House Seafood. Look at that. That is New Orleans, everybody. There's that guy. He's like standing there.
Oh, it gets better.
There's like a hot dog. They have hot dogs in New Orleans. That settles that debate. Now we know for sure there's hot dogs in New Orleans, folks.
Hot dogs or crawdads?
Hot crawdad dogs. No, it's pinned in our view, but it's not for the audience. You gotta talk, Chris. All we can see is like my face and Hank's face. I don't know if Chris can hear us. So we can see a band playing.
I can't hear it.
We can't hear anything, and we can't seem to. Can you hear us, Chris? We have wow, this amazing footage that only the three of us can see, and of course Chris as well. There's a guy at the sign that says live music, and he's pointing at Chris to go in there. It says no cover, but I can't seem to show you guys, even though it's pinned for us. The audience still cannot see this. This is ridiculous.
Oh, you like this one, man? There you go, man. Like that neon.
Well, Chris Calais, can you hear me? And there's the hot dog stand some more. Oh, now okay, now it seems to be working. Okay, good. I got it live. It seems to be working. I mean,
All right, so Bourbon and Bienville.
Bienville, man, that means Goodville. Here comes Mark Engels too.
Got the New Orleans staple right here, the Desire Hotel. Oh, Mark,
Howdy.
Mark, you should have been down here, man.
You see some bums get right? I'm not going to be on too long. Just walking back to the hotel.
So it's getting a little more chill down here, but we got quite a bit of live music coming up as well.
Hello,
But
everyone
yeah,
in the
I
live
couldn't even hear
chat.
you guys for a couple blocks there. Well, that's what it's all about, you know. Bourbon Street, like it's all about the ambiance and like, you know, live music's part of that.
There's a couple like 70s style bars down there too. We should have hit one up.
All right.
It's hard to imagine for me how much of that was.
UTAS.
It's hard to imagine for me how much of that was underwater in
UTAS
2004.
right there.
Actually, Joey, almost none of it was underwater because the French Quarter is the original part of the, and where they settled was the only part of the city above sea level.
Ah.
So the French Quarter came pretty well, actually. It's the other part of town.
Oh, yes, it is.
Well, that's it's a beautiful looking town, eh? It's a beautiful looking town. There's nowhere
You know,
else quite like it.
You know, it's a lot nicer than I thought it would be, actually.
Yeah, like you're walking around without bulletproof vest on.
Just got my phone out, yeah.
Huge ass beers. This segment is brought to you by Huge Ass Beers.
Huge ass beers, yeah. Oh, look at that drummer just going in there.
I wonder, it's probably too loud for his phone to deal with it.
That's what's going on, eh? It's just overloaded. New Orleans is too loud for a normal phone.
yeah,
Here
not
comes-
down here.
Here comes Brandon Hauk too.
I'm a
It's
little
gonna
off the thing now.
What are the chances that New Orleans gets snow next week?
You know, it seems pretty high, honestly.
I called that one like days ago.
Well, we've been looking at it at work for the last like 2 or 3 weeks because, of course, if it gets cold here, it's going to be cold in the Northeast.
I think it's going to be screaming cold where Hank is very, very soon. I mean, they got snowfall warnings and whatnot across the prairies right now. 80K winds and a blowing and snow advisory for Hank's area just north of him. Snowfall warnings in effect and things like that. But I think pretty soon we're going to see some of that turn into extreme
Hey,
cold temperature warnings.
We're hitting Stripper Row here. We got the Hustler Barely Legal Club. There we go. Grab some titties.
So what does that mean?
Well,
Barely
if
legal?
she'll let, yeah.
Like
if she likes
Mexicans
you,
aren't allowed, or
No, it means they're 18.
oh, okay.
What happens on Bourbon Street stays on Bourbon Street.
Doesn't look like that much.
And,
happened.
All right, we got
Just
some more
walking
unless-
around.
Unless you're live on freaking YouTube, anyway.
Right? Yeah.
I got all these great clips from Mark interviewing people at American Meteorological Society. So how was AMS, guys?
It was
I got you.
awesome, man. Like it was great to be able to see everyone and
Back Cats Music
No.
Club.
I'm the only meteorologist in my office, so it was nice to rub shoulders with some meteorologists too. I do want to, before I go into my hotel, I want to say hi to everyone in the live chat. Hello. But yeah, no, it was awesome, and I'd really like to see AMS do something where like they've got what they call the weather band, which is like if you're just a weather nerd, you can be part of the weather band, and I'd really like to see them have heavily discounted like admission to the conference for the weather band to really get some people like you and Justin and Hank if you wanted to come down.
Well, yeah, my band played like 2,000 shows.
So, well, I'm going to sign off here, but have a good night, guys.
Good to see you, Mark, and we'll have your reports for you on there, and you can go to your hotel room and just chill and watch the show if you wish, or not.
I think I'm going to bed. I still have to work in the
Okay.
morning.
Party's going on in the alleyway. Look at this party going on down here. This is something else.
Chris can't even hear what anybody else is saying. He's just in his own world.
Yeah.
All right, night, guys.
I'm gonna watch Chris get arrested here on TV.
Oh, please. If that happens, that's got to make it into the show.
I'd have to like go back and like screen grab it from the live stream. But I would. I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't let
that'd
something
be-
like that go.
It's worth it. Hello, Brandon Hauk.
Some great French architecture down here. A little better than Quebec, I would say. I'm a little partial.
I don't know. Downtown Quebec's pretty awesome, but that is stellar.
Get yourself some Fuego bourbon. There you go.
I like how it looked like someone just parked a boat there. That's what that hotel looks like an 1850s steam wheeler or something, paddle wheeler. It's got that boat look to it.
As long
Brandon
as
Hauk
it's
has
beer.
joined us. Oh, what do you got there, Chris?
What's up, man? They're all waving me in, man, but like I can't just like go to a club and like I got to be available for the show. I mean, I know you guys would love it, but
Get into that police band there.
plus I don't drink, so it's not as much fun when you're sober. So
Oh, I hear that. That's why later on when we joke that
I don't know what everyone's excited about, but I got 2 cops ahead of me, which doesn't make for a good segment. So we'll let them go by for a little while here.
Well, it means you're safe. No, that's like your bodyguards, man. It's like a meteorologist here. Look out.
Tropical Isle here. Definitely feels tropical out here. It's 11 degrees Celsius
Yeah.
here in the Big Easy tonight.
Well, it must be warm if the cops are walking around.
I just got a little really like a light like a hoodie on kind of fleece, and I got the front open. Like I just got a t-shirt on. It's amazing for January.
Is that Elon Musk in front of you in the suit?
It's a good mix down here. There's a few people dressed up, and it's pretty casual for the most part. So
She loves those guys.
the scent of some high quality bud on the air, you know. Plenty of people smoking the kush down here right now.
Yeah, that's what I'd be
Brandon
doing.
apparently doesn't like me. He has something against New Orleans, I think. I just saw he left the live stream. So.
Oh, and he's got an
more music coming.
He's got an SM58 microphone. Hilden does. And I don't know. Yeah, Mark's gone. Brandon was here, but he's gone. He was never really here, though. Justin Ortel's here, though. He's showing up. He wants to go to AMS someday.
What?
How fun is this? You never know.
That looks crazy.
This is gonna be the fucking best pre-show that you guys have had. Because it's a real show, guys. It's not just us bitching, you know?
Yeah, to
What
help the weather
sucks?
models.
You guys
It's
got
not
two
Mardi
more
Gras.
blocks here, so.
You could have your chain
You're
necklace
like
there,
two-
whatever, beads.
What's up, Justin?
Hey, how's it going? I said
How's it going, Justin?
it's too bad it's not Mardi Gras. You could have your beads,
man.
you know. Take your shirt off for some beads.
Well, we're just enjoying the ambiance here on Bourbon Street in New Orleans.
Nice. Gonna be getting pretty cold up here, man. Like minus 40 tomorrow.
Huge ass cantina.
Be nice to be
Huge ass
down there.
cantina, right? There's a lot of huge ass things there, isn't there?
Man.
I think that's the name of the music, the jazz, like the name of the New Orleans style jazz is called Hugh.
If you guys learn nothing else from this, it's come down to New Orleans and enjoy it in person.
Yeah. Cool.
Well,
Alright,
it's pretty
guys.
excessively beautiful. I will tell you that. You shouldn't have brought Quebec City into this because you might have, like, if you just squeaked in and said it's the most beautiful town in North America and just said that and I might not have thought about it. But then you're like, better than Quebec City. I'm like, hold the fuck on, man. Quebec City is outrageously beautiful, especially with the St. Lawrence and the mountains there when you're coming in on the 20. It's right time of day at sunrise. Oh,
Got some jazz down here. It's a little bit more like the jazz rather than the popular music.
Looks pretty sweet.
yeah, minus 40 for you, eh,
We're getting
Justin?
close to the end here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be getting friggin' cold up here.
So it's getting a little quieter. So I'll probably jump on the meteorological report from the other end here, where it's a little quieter.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for that tour down Bourbon Street.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for most people that don't live here, it's like a once or twice in a lifetime kind of experience, you know?
Well, and even
I mean,
for all
still-
those of us suffering through winter conditions, it's just
Yeah.
a reminder that things aren't so bad in the world. Be patient.
still,
It'll come back.
Still pretty down here, but it's a little quieter, you know?
Yeah, it's more my type of neighborhood right there. Probably where you buy your weed. Meteorological report live from New Orleans there tonight. So we're going to have reports from Mark from some interviews he's done. We got pre-recorded interviews that are right cool from the conference itself. And we're going to have Chris give a proper report, a radio-friendly report at the time. And we're going to talk all about the conference and what happened there. And Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Frankie
For a
might
moment
show up.
here, Frankie will be here at 7, and we'll start our recording as per usual. I'm going to take a minute and just look at some things in the weather world quickly to get us up to speed. If you can see that yet. So snow falling a little bit in Prince George, north of PG, down to 16. There's a band of it out there, out by Nasco. And right now, I think there's quite a bit of snow in the prairies. I don't know how easy it'll be to find it right away. There's some. What else we got here? It's more to the north. Yeah, it might mostly be out of range. A little there.
Yeah, can't see it in Manitoba. No radars up there.
Yeah, nothing on that end. Now tell me, are you still seeing the radar when I switch screens?
I see it.
Yeah, I see the radar.
Ah, this is good to know because that means like I could turn the radar on and then actually set other things up in the future. That's just for my own use. So that, anyways, we'll jump away from that for a second. And we'll look at news across the north. So I got a lot of snowfall warnings right now across the prairies. Just a tiny bit of snowfall in here in BC. Up in Churchill, what is Joe looking at? Blizzard warning, 50 kilometers an hour, gusting to 80. Wind chill values near minus 50 that night. Gross. You got a watch for you, blowing snow advisory for you, Justin.
Yep.
Blizzard warning for, look at that. Blizzard warning
lots of
down
blizzard
there.
warnings. Yeah, I just did a big live stream before hopping on. Was on live stream for about half hour.
So what's the deal with Winnipeg Blizzard? 100-kilometer-an-hour winds.
Yeah, not going to be a lot of snow falling, like fresh snow, but just going to be a lot of blowing snow that's around on the ground already.
Ridiculous. Now, here's another story I've been watching. What are the temps like today? 4.3 new high record and high level. That's pretty far north. Snowfall, Jade City, 25 centimeters of snowfall. Daily maximum record set in Lillooet, 11 degrees. Lytton, 10.6. Manitoba setting in daily high records in Flin Flon. Gimli, 4.1. Busting through old records. There's been a lot of warm weather. There was like a bunch of 10 degree, 9 and 10 degrees up in the Northwest Territories a few days ago. And it was like 15 degrees past. So, Chris, what's this? This is Desi.
So I was at AMS. The NOAA folks showed us a little preview of Desi. I guess it's live now, but I wasn't actually aware of it. So any of you guys who knew about Desi before, you knew about it before I did. So, but the stuff I saw on the little preview looked like it was pretty darn cool. Like there's ways to like make NOAA style weather graphics and stuff, and like annotate them with whatever information you're trying to convey. Looking at one thing I was looking at was like probabilistic forecasts, where like you're looking at things like what are the odds of 50 millimeters of precip from a given storm at different locations. Like what's you can look at probability of timing, so like first onset of a certain amount of precip, or what's the latest point that the ensemble saying that there's potentially precip during that time. Just all kinds of different things that you can plot that you couldn't plot before, or that you couldn't plot professionally. Like maybe you could plot it, but it was kind of janky looking graphics. So this I think has a lot of. I think we're just scratching the surface with it, obviously. And you could probably spend literally hours and hours digging into it just to see all the cool different features. So this is honestly, this is the future, I think, of conveying weather information, communication of weather information through Desi. We're going to see this pretty ubiquitously. I almost wish that, Environment Canada would have gotten on board with NOAA, and we would have done some kind of joint partnership.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot of stuff for Canada on there, as you're seeing right there. But I think it just would have been a lot better as a partnership. The thing is, it makes so much sense because
you know, like regardless of the border or politics in the world or who's mad at who or this or that, you know, our weather goes to you and your weather comes to us. And
Sure.
there's, you know, Mark has gone from Surrey down to New Orleans this week, and it's like, you know, some standardized cooperation, and you know, it's the future, and it's climate change future.
Exactly. Yeah. So you know, AMS is great. You know, I had a great time. Obviously, it's, you know, it's the last day now, or the last night, and it's a little bit melancholy because, you know, I've said goodbye to a few of my colleagues that I probably won't see a few of them like Mark for quite a while in person. So you know, it's a good opportunity, you know, to kind of meet those colleagues again that you used to work with or that you went to school with, and kind of maintain those friendships, as well as network with other professionals, you know, in the community, in the weather community especially.
What are we looking at there?
Probability of 3-hour precipitation. This is such a, like, I need a lot of time to get used to what this has to offer.
What's neat is that I thought the NAM and the GFS, whatever, wasn't on it, but if you go to select member, they are on there. I found that earlier on the drop down menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good.
We're gonna need like a whole pre-show or post-show, or one of us who's even more skilled than I am. Like,
there's got to be some
sitting at a
like comment.
computer.
There's got to be some met ed or comment modules that I'll dig into it a little bit and see if there's any good trainings that I can find that if you guys want to take them, stuff that you guys would be able to do, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
you know, my opinion on learning and training is I don't mind learning the same things over and over again either. It's,
well, the first time you only pick up like 20-25%. Second time you pick up, you know, you pick up a little more each time. And it's all useful. Like, you know, this isn't going away. This isn't going away. But I was talking to one of my friends who's a meteorologist, and he's like, yeah, this is the first time that a lot of the stuff that actual NWS meteorologists use is becoming publicly available for the average person to like utilize, you know?
I'm going to be playing around with that a lot. Here's another one I came across, Polar WX, Chris, and it's somebody who is at AMS right now.
Tomer Berg, yeah, I've heard of him. I don't know him in person, but like, you know, there's so many of us that do modeling now. Like, you got Tropical Tidbits, you got Pivotal Weather, you know, you got all kinds of different people out there doing all kinds of weather graphics. And, you know, Ryan Maui, who was the force behind Weather Bell for a long time and kind of is doing his own thing now. But yeah, this is all great. You know, it's the democratization of weather data is amazing.
Well, and also why I love it so much too is because I had a subscriber, a supporter who was like, "Hey, I'll put down for you to get the best. What do you want?" And I was like, "I think Weather Bell is probably the best." And we look at the price for what I'd need to pay in order to use it for live forecasts or whatever. And I just said to them, "No, like we can't do that. It's not. There's too many things that are more important I invest in to spend that kind of money."
So you can get a personal license for like, I think $25 a year. Or is it 25 a month? Or 25 a month or 25 a year? I think it's 25 a year. But like, you know, if you're making money off of it, then obviously you need to get like a corporate license, which is like 600 some odd, you know, a year, which is what we use at work. But there are other options too. Like there's cheaper options like Storm Vista hobbyist account. One neat thing is that the ECMWF, which is the Euro, is becoming pretty much entirely free for everyone in the world here, you know, over the next, I think already, but like, you know, if you're someone who likes to build models, you can download the files that basically have the, you know, so like every model is on like has a gridded resolution. So like, I think the Euro is like 9 kilometers. So each one of those 9 kilometer grid points has a certain modeled value for a given time step. So you could download that data and you could essentially make your own Euro-based maps, you know, for different variables. And all it would take is a little Python code, you know. It's something that, you know, with a little AI chatbot and a little time on your hands and stuff, you could probably pull that together pretty easily, you know, as the average, you know, weather enthusiast. So
I love this. You know, it helps me know that I don't have to spend that kind of money on Weather Bell. Yeah, Frankie is here, so it's time now that we get ourselves focused into Frankie mode here. Oh, I'm going to hit record, but I'm not ready, even though I've hit record. Hey, Frankie, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great so far. Tomorrow night, Space Guy show at 11:50 Atlantic, 7:50 Pacific.
Okay, I got the intro ready to go.
Yes, I'm all set and ready to go.
I'm all set and ready to go, everybody. And people are watching. They're set and ready to go, too. Okay, let's go with the show.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we've got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather or not.
It's Thursday, January 16th. At the time of recording, I'm Joey, only the Caribou Weather Dude. Welcome to the show, the Comedeorological Report. Comedy plus meteorology equals comedeorology. It's your show about how much the weather sucks everywhere. Tonight's a very special episode because we got meteorologist Chris Calais down there. He's standing just outside Bourbon Street in New Orleans. He's been down at the American Meteorological Society annual general meeting. It's the 105th time they've met, and everybody is very eager to hear his reports. We've also got meteorologist Mark Ingalls with us. Not with us, but he sent us a bunch of videos today that we're also going to be watching that are from the American Meteorological Society. People he's interviewed and whatnot. Of course, we got Frankie McDonald and the whole cast and crew. We'll have Brandon Houck as per usual. We got Chris Calais, like I just said. Hilding is here. We got
and what about Imogen Bailey?
I don't know where she is. Haven't heard from her in a little while, except for just some very brief business talk last week about the show. Hopefully, we see Imogen sooner than later this season. And what else we got there? We got Justin from Weather Center in Manitoba. So we will roll with you in just 1 second, Frankie. We are on CFUR 88.7 FM, CKUW 95.9 FM, CFBX 92.5 FM, and Rogers Television across British Columbia. Just to show you what's coming up tonight, Frankie, here is Mark at the American Meteorological Society annual meeting, buddy.
My name is Sean Riley. I am the technology coordinator
it's
for
the wrong one.
Meteorology at the.
Sorry, wrong one. Let me try again. Cut that. AMS. No, it's the wrong one. Sorry, Frankie. Sorry. I'll edit this out in the post show here. I got it here. Here we go.
Just got the fat check for pushing that.
My name Mark Ingalls.
Pushing that agenda. It says here, HARP, climate change, whatever, in my banking.
Hello, everyone. Mark Ingalls here at AMS in New Orleans. The weather is very Vancouver-like, which I love, but it sucks because we have an outdoor pool in our hotel. I am here with rare contributor who should be on the Comedeorological Report more often, Chris Calais.
Hey.
Chris, why are you never on the show?
4 kids and working shift. Now, by now that I'm off shift, I should have time to be on more often.
Chris thinks he has a life. He does not. Anyway, I'm not gonna be live this week, but we will have some interviews for you from other meteorologists here at the convention. So stay tuned for that. Have a good week, everyone.
Hello. Hey. Okay, my name is Shaquille Baxter. I am from Portland, Oregon, but I am a Houston Texan, and I am a meteorologist. I should take this gum out my mouth. Keep going. All right, now we're getting serious. Let's do it.
Okay, Houston, Texas. And what is the weather that you miss the most from Houston now that you live in Portland?
From Houston, I miss the flooding rain. We get rain in Portland, but it's way more exciting when cars can just take off down the street and end up.
So after working in energy, you want to transition to the insurance industry, right?
That sounds like a great idea.
All right, thank you, Shaq.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Dr. B. Stout. I'm the customer director at Working Tech, and I'm excited to be here at the AMS conference in New Orleans. And I'm from Hampton, Virginia.
And what are you most excited about working with Coastal Resilience?
Oh, I'm really get excited about working with our faculty and helping them to be able to make connections, to be able to solve the big coastal problems that we have in Virginia and on the east coast of the United States. So I'm excited to be able to coordinate with NOAA and the NOAA grant where we're going to work with Maryland and Delaware and Virginia to engage with the extension team in each of those states and with Sea Grant. And I'm excited to help train extension agents to be able to talk about coastal resilience and coastal problems with agricultural communities and farmers.
More from Chris Calais and Mark Ingalls later on the show. But first, Frankie McDonald, how you doing so far, bud?
I'm doing great so far.
Who's got the worst weather in the world, dude?
Somewhere in the planet Earth. And did you hear about this? They had a lot of blizzard conditions in Winnipeg on Friday.
I did hear that. We got Justin to talk about that tonight, Frankie. What else? What do you got for Sydney, Nova Scotia, Frankie?
Cold outside in Sydney, Nova Scotia right now. It's going to be next week's going to bring really cold temperatures on Monday and Tuesday all across the entire eastern North America. California's getting more Santa Ana winds this week coming. Then it's going to bring lots of rain on Sunday in Nova Scotia and all across Quebec and all. It's going to bring lots of snow on Monday in New Brunswick before the weather turns brutally cold all across New Brunswick, Canada. In Quebec, where Base Guy lives, it's going to get extreme cold. Where Trey Campbell lives in Austin, Texas, this Sunday and Monday coming up. Then it's going to warm up again where Trey lives as well. Then it got lots of snow hitting for Houston, Texas possible this week. It's going to bring extremely cold temperatures in central United States. It's going to bring extremely cold temperatures in northwestern Ontario this Sunday and Monday as well, including Winnipeg, Manitoba. After a blizzard, it's going to bring bitterly cold in Winnipeg, and Churchill, Manitoba, is Joe Stover lives. It's going to bring cold weather.
Minus 50 in Churchill. And
it's going to drive all the cold air all the way down to where Trey Campbell lives.
Yeah, even New Orleans, where Chris is right now, might see snow, Frankie.
Yes. In New Orleans, Louisiana. And California's getting more Santa Ana winds.
It is more. Yeah, it's not going to get better, is it, Frankie?
It's causing a lot of fires in Los Angeles right now. And up around Nunavut, it's extremely cold right now. Next Thursday, first sunrise up in Barrow, Alaska.
What else
Since
you got,
November
Frankie?
19th.
What else you got, Frankie?
In Central America, lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in Panama right now. It's drier and a little bit of showers in Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Nigeria, and Honduras. Lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in Colombia, down South America right now. In Venezuela, it's drier right now. Down in Venezuela, a lot of rain and thunderstorms in the Amazon rainforest right now in Brazil, including Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, Brazil. And in parts of Ecuador, lots of rain. In parts of Bolivia, parts of Peru, a lot of rain and thunderstorms in forecast. Northern Chile is really dry in northern Chile. Lots of rain going on in southern Chile right now. And in Argentina, then they got warm air, cold air fighting each other in Falkland Islands. Then the southern tip of Argentina, they're getting warm air, cold air fighting each other. And Buenos Aires, Argentina, there's some lots of warm weather there right now. It's really hot there right now. It's southern hemisphere summer. Over in Europe right now, it's really warm in England right now. And they got some odd cold weather in Algeria, parts of Libya, with rain in the forecast. And got pockets of cold air in parts of Morocco as well. It's really cold in Italy right now because of odd weather patterns going on in Europe right now. It's a blocking pattern, causing warm air in England, Norway, Finland, Sweden right now. It's really cold in Croatia, Bosnia, and all those places right now, including Greece and Albania and Turkey. Then it's going to warm up after that. Then it gets some cold air in Germany next week, including Poland. Lots of snow in the forecast in Helsinki, Finland. And really cold air in Sweden and Norway next week as well, middle of next week as well. Moscow, Russia and Belarus is lots of cold weather in Belarus right now. Then it got some cold air hitting from Moscow, Russia as well. All across Western Pacific, there's lots of cold air in Sapporo, Japan, Tokyo, Japan, Seoul, South Korea, Pyongyang, North Korea, Vladivostok, Russia, northeastern China, Mongolia is extremely cold, so Siberia right now. Hong Kong had fires too.
Yeah, even Hong Kong did, didn't they, Frankie?
Yeah, and Taiwan and all those places is showers and thunderstorms right now. And lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in Indonesia right now, Malaysia, Singapore, parts of Philippines as well. It's really dry in It's a chance of showers to Finn on Laos right now. It's really dry in Thailand and Cambodia right now. And Papua New Guinea, there's a lot of rain right now in the southern hemisphere rainy season. Over in Bangladesh and India and all those places is really dry right now. In Myanmar, in Sri Lanka, it's getting lots of rain and thunderstorms in Sri Lanka right now. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, it's really dry right now. Over in Middle East, the weather for Middle East is really dry. Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Oman, Qatar, and all those places. It's really dry in Egypt right now. In Sudan, Ethiopia right now. And a little bit of rain forecast in Ghana and Nigeria right now. This is their dry season. In Sahara Desert, it's really dry right now. In Southern Africa, lots of rain thunderstorms going on in Mozambique right now, Botswana and Zimbabwe, Zambia, and all those places right now in Angola and Madagascar, Africa, La Réunion and Mauritius Islands. The tropical cyclones will be kicking up to high gear in February to March in those places. In Australia, New Zealand will be getting the peak of the cyclone season in March. And weather in Australia right now, lots of rain thunderstorms going on in northwestern Australia. There's a cyclone developing off the northwest coast of Australia. It's going to bring powerful winds there. And it's going to miss Perth, Australia. But it's going to be extremely hot in Perth, Australia. They had hail and severe weather in Queensland coast of Australia and things like this. It's really hot and dry right now in Central Australia. And up around Sydney, Australia, it's really hot and humid in Sydney, Australia. As of right now, after thunderstorms. And weather down New Zealand right now is lots of warm weather in New Zealand right now. In Auckland, New Zealand's getting showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. It's going to get heavy rain next week in Auckland, New Zealand. Gisborne, New Zealand. New Plymouth, New Zealand. Hamilton, New Zealand. And it's going to miss well in Napier, Hawke's Bay, New Zealand, with a little bit of showers in forecast. Wellington, New Zealand's getting a little bit of showers with Greymouth, New Zealand. Christchurch and Indian for Cargill and down to New Zealand, all those places. Antarctica is still 24-hour daylight. Up in the Arctic is still 24-hour darkness. The first sunrise up above the Arctic Circle will be January 23rd.
Frankie with a great world weather report once again. On the panel tonight, of course, we got Chris Calais, as you can see, who's been there. He's our featured guest of the night. Also on the panel is Justin Ortel from the Weather Center in Manitoba. We got Hilding Donaldson in Grassy Plains, BC. We got Hank Vliestra in Wilkie, Saskatchewan, and Brandon Hauk in Brooks, Alberta. Anyone got a question for Frankie, the man?
Yeah.
No questions.
Frankie, are we going to get snow in Portland this winter?
Yes, it's going to get snow in Portland this winter as well.
It's not very wintry over there right now.
What about New Orleans, Frankie?
New Orleans is supposed to get this winter-like weather there too.
Next week. Should they buy their collard greens? Should they get their okra ready?
Yes.
They don't. I don't think they eat too much kale down here. It's more like the collard greens and okra.
It is going to be something. You know, I started seeing that in the weather models like a couple days ago, a week ago. I don't even know. And I was like looking long term. I was like, well, that cold spills down. And if that Gulf moisture goes up, well, what's that going to do? And and it hasn't changed much, the modeling, in 8 or 10 days, I don't think really. Right. So, Chris, how is New Orleans?
New Orleans is great. It's just like party every night, man. It's like I've been down here 4 nights in a row now, every evening. And, I don't stay up super late, but, until like 11 or so, 10 or 11. And it's just been one big party. Like just imagine like live music after live music, and all these bars are all open. They're trying to wave me inside, like they want me there, I don't drink, but like the environment is still a lot of fun. I don't mind being around people who have had a couple. So, but yeah, it's great. Tonight's about 11 degrees Celsius, so it's almost like almost feels tropical, which I guess makes sense since we're down at about 29 degrees north latitude and right on the edge of the Gulf of Mexico, or should I say the Gulf of America if Trump has his way.
The Gulf of America.
Once we buy Greenland and we rename the Gulf of Mexico to a Gulf of America, apparently that's going to fix all our problems,
These are just bait and switch things to get everyone talking about the wrong thing while they destroy your life.
Exactly. But yeah, AMS was amazing. New Orleans is also a food destination. So being that I'm a bit of a foodie, like it was great to get down here and appreciate some good Southern cooking. So probably the single biggest dish for New Orleans is the oyster po' boy, which is almost like a sub sandwich with fried oysters and a bunch of other stuff in it. Special kind of New Orleans Cajun sauce. But man, it hits pretty hard, man. It's great food. This evening I had gumbo. So if you don't know what gumbo is, it's like what they call soul food, It's like you got the red beans and rice, you got the sausage, the smoked sausage in there. You got there was even alligator sausage on the menu. Alligator sausage. So which apparently tastes like chicken. It's just a little more like tough and stringy a little bit, a little bit more of like an aquatic kind of flavor to it,
Well,
But
chicken has mostly the same DNA as a Tyrannosaurus. Like the closest thing to a Tyrannosaurus is a chicken. Then it goes to reason that Tyrannosaurus has tasted like chicken.
yeah, and so would an alligator, I guess, because they're also one of the largest reptiles,
And that's why I think if we can bring them back, we could really solve the food crisis on Earth.
Yeah, because we'd all be eating T-Rexes. That's amazing, It's a great idea.
It is a great idea.
Until they fucking go like, but sorry, but you have to edit that out. Until they go on a rampage and let's destroy a city, with their little T-Rex arms, like
we can
clawing
take
at
them.
you and But anyways, yeah.
If the movie's taught me nothing, it's that we'll always win when it comes to dinosaurs in the future.
For sure. That's what I got taught in Jurassic Park, Well, we don't have Bill Paxton now, so maybe we'll lose because we don't have Bill Paxton, unfortunately. So
yeah, true enough. So you heard it from yourself, Chris Calais. The life of a meteorologist is just party, party, party all the time down there. He's at the AMS conference, and we are going to be talking to him some more tonight about exactly, well, he got to lead a symposium, a panel himself. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. We got a guy on here who led a panel, so we're going to get him to talk about that a little bit too. Before we do, though, I think it's time that we discuss some things over there in Brooks, Alberta. It's this part of the world where things tend to happen, and this guy tends to do the talking for them.
The Brandon Houck Report.
Oh, hi. This is the Brandon Houck Report.
Brought to you by
Smoking Good Barbecue.
Now, Brandon, on a side note, there was a big fire in Prince George today. I'm just seeing in the comments. We'll talk about that in a little bit later. A major secondhand store burned down in Prince George today. Talk about that a little later. How about you, bro? What's the news in Brooks, Alberta, Brandon?
Well, we're having a smoking good time tonight. That is for sure across the province of Alberta with wild weather. Like this whole week's been pretty quiet. We've had above average temperatures throughout the week. And yesterday we got up to about 9 degrees. Snow started melting just a little bit. Some areas in the southwestern corner got up to 11 degrees. The same temperatures New Orleans, Louisiana tonight. So we've been pretty balmy here, to say the least. But that's all going to change as the tables have turned today. Big time across the province. And we had this morning low pressure, the Alberta Clipper system. That's going to change everybody's weather across North America in the next 24 to 48 hours. Well, it is packing a punch, and it's currently packing a punch right at this hour. So I've been quite busy with the with all of the stuff, but that's been going on in central region of the province here. So we'll break down what's been going down so far. But earlier today, we had the snow squall activity ramping up into from about Whitecourt down towards Edmonton this morning. It wasn't too bad, but still produced a bit of poor visibility earlier today in a few spots, and even very convective as well. Had felt like a kind of the day where you get thunderstorms, but we didn't get any lightning. We were hoping we'd get any thunder snow out of this activity because we even had a bit of a shelf cloud with that squall line that went through earlier today. So that was about 8 o'clock this morning that ripped into the Edmonton area. The same cold front today actually rushed its way across the rest of southern Alberta. So it reached Edmonton at 8 o'clock. And then eventually it moved into our area just after lunch there. As we were about 7-8 degrees at noon. The wind was calm. And all of a sudden you see this band of cumulus clouds start rolling in. And next thing you know, whoosh! This gust of 70K in, well, it probably lasted for 5 minutes and it went down, settled down. And then by the evening hours, we had a few more kind of convective kind of flurries that rolled in with gusty winds once again, gusting about 60 to 70. The wind has calmed down again. But this is for, as we set stage for round 3 that hit the Edmonton area this evening with near blizzard conditions and winds gusting 100 kilometers an hour right now in Red Deer at this hour. So it is going to get wild tonight. Winds likely going to gust 70 to 90 kilometers an hour overnight tonight, just after midnight, with a few rounds of snow, and that temperature is going to continue to drop. So just got this message from the Millet Fire Department this last hour. And they say, let us be absolutely blunt. If you are in the area highway tonight, you are putting your life and and others at risk and in grave danger. It is not worth the drive, no matter where you think you should be going. We have heard that the streets look clear in Leduc and Wetaskiwin, but let us assure you, the moment you hit the open highway, it is treacherous and zero visibility. They're on the scene on the motor vehicle collision on the 814 north of Highway 616. The wind and the snow are almost too much for responders to be standing in while they work in these conditions. So it's gone dire very, very quickly tonight, and that's going to be the case overnight tonight across the prairie provinces. And the same system is going to impact Saskatchewan, Manitoba, with potential blizzard conditions tonight into tomorrow as well. It's going to be a fast-moving system, but it's going to pack a punch, and that's what it's been doing throughout the day today. And then finally, we got the cold Arctic air mass that's going to descend from the north pretty much over the next couple of days. We're going to be dealing with temperatures plunging by Sunday, daytime highs in the -20s, and overnight lows in the -30s, and wind chills feeling like -40 in many locations across Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. But then as we go into next week, we get back into that westerly flow, and that will allow for temperatures to eventually recover from that. Now, this week has been, oh yeah, I know this is the best part, isn't it? This week has been absolutely bonkers for wild weather stories. I guess not wild weather stories. More like wild other stuff that's been going on. A lot of this stuff that's went on this week, I shall not read on the air here, and I will not read that on the air. That will be for another time. But anyways, that's more so for pre-show kind of stuff. So just see what, oh yeah, Palm Beach, Florida, world record people dressed as dinosaurs, 468 people. I think somebody else can beat that record, 468. I think Drumheller. And then there's a 1,000-pound sculpture of a cow made of butter at a farm show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So that was another thing that happened this week. And Vietnam is, well, snitches are going to get paid for catching bad drivers. So, you know, here we always have a lot of bad drivers around and people snitch on them. Well, if you snitch on a bad driver in Vietnam, you'll get paid for doing that. So apparently that's the thing. And then finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. What did the snowboarder give as a housewarming gift? Anybody know?
Yeah.
No.
No answer from New Orleans,
All right.
at least.
No answer from New Orleans.
I have no clue.
So the snowboarder
If it's in
gave
DC,
as a housewarming
probably
gift.
a bong.
Even better. How about a face plant?
There you go.
You suck.
That's a good one.
Joining us has been Imogen since then. Imogen the Alien, our co-producer, and Karen Richards and Prince George has also joined in. So we got everybody on the show tonight.
Imogen has made it.
Imogen's made it, Frankie.
I made something.
What did you make?
Nothing useful today.
Hey, Imogen, I sent you a video last night. I haven't seen you in a while.
You did. You sent me a bunch of videos, and it looked like you were having a very good time at Dooley's with a lot of people.
Steel City.
Were you dancing with all the girls, Frankie?
At the Steel City in Sydney, Nova Scotia. I was dancing last night.
Yes, he was. Frankie parties more. Frankie,
Guess what? I got major news for you. Bass Guy already changed his schedule for me to on Bass Guy show at 7:50 p.m. Pacific, 11:50 p.m. Atlantic every Friday nights. Bass Guy went from 10 p.m. Atlantic to 11:50 p.m. Atlantic for my interviews.
Switch the whole show around just for you, eh, Frankie?
Bass Guy changed the format of the show.
Well, it's good. That's good. Tell Jack
Now
Casey
Bass
you
Guy
say hi.
interviews me every Friday nights at 11:50 p.m.
Tell
Atlantic.
Jack, tell him we say hi, and yeah, let him know we're glad he's back on the air. We're glad to see that you're so happy, Frankie. We're so happy. Guess what we got tonight? We got Chris Calais. He's down in New Orleans. He's been at the American Meteorological Society 105th annual meeting. 105 times they had this meeting, and this is the first time Chris chaired. Is this the first time you chaired a session, Chris?
Yeah. I chaired. We got a little bit of noise here on Bourbon Street, but yeah, it was the first time I chaired the session of the conference. Basically, the way the AMS conference is structured is about 30 different symposiums. I chaired a session of the basically the energy conference, which is I think weather, water, and the new energy economy is the name of the symposium. But it was a lot of fun. Mostly you're just introducing speakers. Keep a track of time. Everybody has a certain amount of time, 12 minutes to present, and then 3 minutes for questions. So, making sure it's fair, making sure it's orderly, and that there's none of the rules of the conference are broken by any of the attendees, like, no outbursts, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun as far as being chair.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
And I got my name in the program, so I guess I'm famous now. You can find me on the internet,
Well, that's the thing, Mark's like, well, yeah, he has no life, but I'm like sitting here thinking, like, I haven't gone anywhere in 4 months. Like, in fact, I got the least life of anybody on the show, but I'm putting on the ticker on the bottom.
It's nice that Imogen's on the show because she should be down here on Bourbon Street partying with everyone else.
Well,
this place is
she's not a meteorologist, and only meteorologists party all the time.
Well, she can party tonight, though, or maybe she wants to wait for a month until Mardi Gras.
Every day is Mardi Gras with the right attitude.
Every day is Mardi Gras here. I don't like crowds too much, but this is just perfect. The numbers here are, other than a few crowds at some of the clubs, but it's great. Next Thursday night, so nice and mild. But yeah, I'm just kind of enjoying after the conference, kind of just unwinding a little bit before I hop a plane to head home tomorrow.
How many people were at the conference?
We had 7,000 attendees, not just in person, but like also online. I would say that conservatively at the conference, there was somewhere around 3,000, might have been a little more. So
that's a lot of people. That's a big deal. It's a big deal. So tell us about some of the kinds of people that were there.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Like, you got a few segments from Mark, but I rubbed shoulders with the director of the National Weather Service. I was at a presidential forum on New Orleans 20 years after Katrina, and one of the guys who spoke was retired General Russell. I can't remember his name. Honor, I think is his last name. Anyways, he was the general in charge of the cleanup after Katrina in New Orleans. So he kind of goes by the nickname Raging Cajun. So you can kind of get an idea of his demeanor from that nickname. But let's just say that he was the only one dropping a few F-bombs during his talk. And you're in this conference, you're in this big hall with like probably 1,000 other people. Everyone's wearing, half the people are wearing suits. These are all professionals. You got like a 3-star general, just kind of speaking what's on his mind. So he coordinated those efforts. But a couple things he said did stand out to me. One is that natural disasters make the poor poorer and the rich richer. Because we're seeing this in Los Angeles, where you have the Pacific Palisades fire, and you got venture capitalists coming in, or vulture capitalists, if you want to call them that. Probably a more apt description. Coming in and trying to buy these properties for pennies on the dollar. and I don't have any love for rich people like that, but like, clearly there's people taking advantage of the situation. As far as the poor getting poor, I mean, you just have, if I had the balls, I would go down to the lower Ninth Ward and show you that. But like, it's definitely in worse shape than it was pre-Katrina. You have a lot of houses down there that are still abandoned, that have mud in them, that have, rotting walls from the flooding during Katrina. They had something around 9 or 10 feet of water in the lower Ninth Ward from Katrina with those levees failed. So, the part of New Orleans that I'm in is just like, this is the part that's like made for tourism, so it's a completely different, obviously it's beautiful, but it's like a facade, and it's something that tourists will lap up, but it's not the true New Orleans, So I just wanted to make sure that, the true New Orleans was represented, and like, that I kind of felt like that presidential forum was a good place to kind of learn a little bit more about that. And we had a lady on there who I also really enjoyed, who was she's kind of she's like a social justice advocate down here, and I forget her name. It's like, I think her last name's Gardere, but like, she had some really good stuff about kind of how we need to come together. That like, social justice isn't just about it's not a racial thing. It's about ending injustices, and ending inequities that exist, systemic inequities that exist in our society. So that was amazing. The whole
it's about achieving our potential as a species.
Yeah, it was nice to kind of get another perspective besides that of a meteorologist.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good stuff.
The previous guest before Chris was Jason Marshall.
Yeah, you missed it last week, Chris. We had Jason Marshall on from Dayton, Ohio. It was a really good episode.
My wife's from Ohio
last week.
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, we hope you can come on more too in the future, Chris. We miss having you on.
Yeah, I'll have more time. Obviously, I have to juggle it with work and family, but like I'll have more opportunities to come on.
And the other guy, Trey Cable,
during the conference. So
Trey Cable's doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah,
it's gonna snow on Trey even. It's gonna snow on Trey even down there in Texas. Mark, we got you on the subject. A few minutes ago. You've been to Los Angeles more than probably any one of us here. You live and work on the West Coast of the United States. Tell us your perspectives a little bit about what's happening and what's coming still.
I actually haven't been to Los Angeles. Funny you say, funny to ask. My perspective is, before the fires, a rat just ran across the street. Anyways, my perspective is, I think we kind of all deep down inside kind of knew that the Pacific Palisades was kind of a tinderbox, and it was just a matter of time. There's still investigations as to whether this was like, power lines that went down and started the fire, or whether it was, someone who threw a cigarette out the window. There's a little trailhead up kind of where the fire started, or whether this was actual arson, but clearly it was not, lightning cause or anything like that. But, Los Angeles is no stranger to fires, but, in the past, and I don't want to make this political because I don't think it's a political issue here, but, there has been, some probably mismanagement of, our public lands around Los Angeles, and especially in the context of like, clearing a lot of that brush. Some of it's, obviously naturally caused, but other of it is just kind of mismanagement by officials and by others. And then, homeowners need to be fire smart, kind of, keeping the vegetation away from their homes, that's part of the battle. Like, you talk to firefighters down there, they can't save a house where the owner, basically has like pass for the fire to go directly to the house, from the hillside or the brush all the way to the house without, skipping a beat, So, having fire breaks, not a true fire break, but like just having it kind of designed where you have what they use down there a lot is like xeriscaping, which is like, rocks and stuff, have a zone where there's not vegetation. So the fire hopefully doesn't spread to your house. So.
Well, I think the point I was making this week is whether someone lights a match or not, intentionally or not, when you have the fire weather conditions on side, there's really not much you can do. And we have a situation where increasingly across, especially the West, but also north, far north, we're getting a situation where fires are ripping at a level and with an anger we haven't seen before. We're going to come back to you in a minute because I want to jump around to some of the other guys, knowing that I know that Justin and Hank both have questions for you. We're going to go, I guess, because Hank's not muted right now. I'll go with Hank. Hank Leistra in Wilkie, Saskatchewan. A blizzard is going on out there in the world. Tell us how it's experienced in Wilkie.
I wouldn't call it a blizzard out here, but there is blowing snow causing problems on the roads. I don't know exactly how bad it is. Sounds like we heard from Brandon that it's a little worse on the Alberta side, but it's the snow is quite warm here, so the snow is kind of slushy, and it's a little bit hard when it's slushy like that. It doesn't blow as well, so it's only a moderate issue out here at the moment, but it is not fun to be on the highways tonight. I think there's wind warnings down in Medicine Hat area tonight. They have a really strong wind down there. Oh. But it's good to see Chris and everybody had a good event down there in New Orleans.
Hey, you got any questions for Chris?
Chris is low on battery.
He's got 10 minutes, so we got to get those questions in.
Oh, sorry. I'm getting technical difficulties here. Don't apparently have video at the moment. Try to get it back here.
All right, we'll get back to you.
Questions. I'm still available on audio, so
we can hear you
terrible
fine.
TV when we can't see your face.
Yeah, it says I'm on safe driving mode or some shit. Let me see here. Maybe I'll try to get back on or something here. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Apparently, I thought I was driving a car. Oh, yeah. Can you guys see me now?
I can see you.
Yeah.
I can see you're not driving.
Do
I'm not
you
driving,
know what it was?
but
Do you know what it was like downtown there during Katrina? Was it really bad down there? Or?
So the French Quarter did not flood because it's about 5 meters above sea level here. But I would say probably 60% of the city flooded. The reason why the French Quarter didn't flood is because this is the old city, and the French were smart enough apparently to build it above sea level. But what happened is over the years or centuries or whatever, they started to spread some of these neighborhoods started to spread into what used to be swamps around the original city. So they would drain those swamps, and then they would build these levees to kind of essentially turn into dry ground. And then they'd build, houses there, et cetera. So this part of New Orleans wasn't too affected. We did have Category 2, borderline Category 3 winds, I believe. Gusting probably in the 120 to 150 kilometer per hour range, I would say. Maybe a little bit higher. I'm a little hazy on the conversion there, but in that range. It was definitely life-changing for a lot of people here because New Orleans traditionally does not really very often get a direct hit by a hurricane. In '69, Camille hit Bay St. Louis, which is a little bit east of here. But the worst of Hurricane Camille was to the east of the eye, the upper right quadrant and the lower right quadrant with the onshore flow, the onshore winds there. And that spread New Orleans. So, I do think Katrina was probably the worst that most old timers had felt here, including obviously the people who are, lived here at the time. So it definitely is like a once in a generation storm. Hopefully we don't see anything on par with that for a long time to come.
Hey, Imogen, do you think that New Orleans and Victoria have in common that it's like sort of this touristy vibe, real touristy, and everyone goes to there, and then but they don't really go down the road and look at how bad it is in Nanaimo?
Nanaimo is definitely a swamp. That's for sure. That's where weird feet keep washing up on the beaches. It's a strange thing, but Nanaimo is kind of good for that. I don't know if New Orleans has that, but I know that you can get a lot more beads for a lot less work where Chris is.
A year ago,
definitely.
A year ago, solar eclipse reached Sydney, Nova Scotia on April 8, 2024.
Remember that? That was pretty cool, wasn't it, Frankie? Pretty cool. What about you, Justin Ortel? You got your blizzard conditions going on there coming to you soon, and I know you got questions for Chris.
Yes, man, it's been a roller coaster with the weather lately here. It's, like you said, pre-show record warmth and then we're just blasting down. Going to be pretty cold starting tomorrow into Saturday. Got a pretty strong Arctic high coming down. But yeah, there hasn't really been a lot for snow lately. I enjoy Hank's point about, yes, it could be a blizzard or, quite a bit of blowing snow, but the temperatures have been warm lately, so there'll be a layer on the surface where, maybe the snow won't blow as much because there's been melting, and then some of that snow is kind of being held to the surface. But I do think that tomorrow around Winnipeg and the Red River Valley, it's going to be pretty bad. Environment Climate Change Canada actually put in their warning that travel is basically going to be impossible tomorrow morning in the Red River Valley. And then that's strong wording from that agency to say that. So I think it's going to be pretty bad. But here where I am in Brandon, we're just expecting some blowing snow. I don't think we'll get to blizzard here across southwestern Manitoba, but the main story I think from all of this is just the drastic change in temperature, like minus 50 wind chills across northern Manitoba Saturday through to Monday, Tuesday, minus 40 to minus 45 across the south. But when you go from +2 and then having Saturday, Sunday daytime highs not even reaching, minus 25 or warmer, that's a big change. So I think it's going to be a shock to the system. The other exciting thing is that the Weather Center of Manitoba has a new YouTube channel. So just head over to YouTube and subscribe. The Weather Center of Manitoba, they're almost up to 800 subscribers. So we want to be creating more video content. That's why I love coming on the show, because I'm getting used to doing more video stuff. So that's pretty cool. Try and do a daily forecast every day. So it's a little bit of what's going on with the Weather Center. I wanted to touch on the solar activity too quickly, because it's been very quiet for solar maximum, but there's a lot of sunspot regions now rotating into the Earth strike zone. There hasn't really been many flares yet from what I last checked, but there could be a strong or like a moderate chance for an X-class solar flare over the next 24 to 48 hours. So that'll be something to watch for. But I had a question for Chris, and because we're talking about the snow, what is the most snow that you've experienced? Like amount or blizzard?
So I've been up to Mount Rainier as a kid, quite a few times. And I think the most that I've seen on the ground up there is about 12 feet. So I don't know, that would be like maybe 3 meters, 4 meters, somewhere in that range. But in terms of like where people live, I think I'd say Island Park, Idaho. Back in, I think about 2007. I was driving for a shuttle company, and so I'd take people from up there down to the airport and all that kind of stuff. And I think I saw like right around like 1.5 or 2 meters on the ground there. So yeah, I mean, so I'm no stranger to some decent snow. Obviously, I don't see it as much where I live, but our mountains do get hammered really good, just because of being so close to the ocean. So
sweet, awesome.
Yep.
I love that we've been pretty snowy here in Brandon, like Manitoba, where I am this year. But Mike, like 200 kilometers east of me, like he's just been complaining because there's like a snow drought. Like they hardly have anything compared to where I am. So it's quite a drastic change across the province.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Question from the comments. Chris, is there anything new coming up in meteorology 2025? What is the most useful thing you learned at the conference? Shelley asked.
Well, we talked about Desi. I don't know. Did we talk about Desi any on this segment or on this?
No, that was in the pre-show. Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, yeah, you got Desi. That's really cool. But yeah, some of the research is just like, so I attended a talk that was just talking about like new research into like lightning, and there's going to be a whole nother generation of ghost GLM lightning mappers coming out in 2032. So they went into some of the you're going to be able to see like individual strikes on there instead of just seeing like an area of strikes. You're going to be able to actually trace like the actual lightning bolt on there. So like, how like, you get bolts that can be up to like several hundred kilometers long, and linked between storms, like in a squall line, for instance. So you'll be able to pick out the path of those lightning strikes on the actual satellite image. So that's going to be really cool. So it's all advancing really, really quickly. Obviously, there's advances in AI modeling. Seems like every other week we're getting a new AI global model to add to our database. for better or worse, obviously, my opinion is that, the AI is a little bit of a black box, and, you don't know whether you should trust what you're getting out of it if you don't understand the processes behind it, So we need to work a little bit more on kind of understanding what's going on in that black box, so that we can kind of, it's tough to trust anything, especially out like 10 or 15 days, if you don't know what assumptions are being made, or what the AI model is looking at in terms of pattern recognition. That's probably the best use of AI, is like to find patterns in data that is noisy, and we don't know exactly where to look for those patterns, but it knows, because it can go through millions and millions of data points instantly, or pretty much instantaneously. So, but yeah, I mean, meteorology is becoming a lot more complex, I guess, is how I would put it. The days of just, breaking out like a synoptic map and drawing some lines and like, some isobars or whatnot, and understanding what's going on, that's still good, but like, there's so much going on that, in the next 20 years, I don't even think we're going to recognize a lot of aspects of the science, and especially, all the modeling advances, in the next 20 years. So.
We got Mark's videos here from his interviews with AMS, and we do have Frankie videos coming up in a little bit too. So we better get onto this now and get this in the show, because these are some great interviews. Here's Mark Engels, the media.
My name is Sean Riley. I am the technology coordinator for the School of Meteorology at the University of Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Weather Lab is an incredible student-ran, student-led operational forecasting group where we do 24/7 operations and forecasts for Norman, Oklahoma, Rogue River, Oregon, and Key West, Florida. The students get a great opportunity to look at all sorts of different weather patterns being part of the organization.
Charlie Phillips. I am a graduate student at Iowa State University pursuing a PhD in power systems engineering. My bachelor's is actually in meteorology, and I worked in the utility industry as a meteorologist for 8 years, and also worked as a power trader for a utility as well. So the reason why I'm now doing electrical engineering is because I want to focus on long-term planning for power systems that incorporate high penetrations of renewable energy and making them more resilient to severe weather events. So the power systems community and the meteorological community need to be more intertwined. I have some power systems experience already from working in the utility industry. I have a strong meteorology background, so I hope with this PhD in electrical engineering, I'll be able to eventually work on creating more organized markets, helping integrate renewable energy into the power system of the 21st century.
Hello, my name is Ryan Myhook. I am a meteorologist from Portland, Oregon, working for Avangrid Renewables, doing energy forecasting. But I do have prior experience over the past decade doing operational forecasting across BC, which time I've gained a wealth of experience in terms of understanding some of the different microclimates and nuances about forecasting across the province. So a few interesting talks about is, especially on the north coast, up in the Chaco area, there's some really interesting features and challenges in forecasting around the Terrace and Kitimat, Stewart, Nass Valley, Prince Rupert areas. As many people up there know, they get a lot of precip through the winter months, but one of the big challenges is determining the precip types that they're going to see, especially when you have a lot of situations over multiple day stretch or even a week or two plus where temperatures are essentially hovering between -1 and +1, and you're trying to gauge whether they're going to see wet roads or they're going to see 10 to 20 centimeters of snow. So really, when we look at those kind of situations, it's almost a case where sometimes you have to throw out the idea of snow levels, and you have to really just think about onshore winds versus offshore winds. A lot of situations we see, especially when we look at Stewart, for example, or if you look at areas from Terrace down to Kitimat, where even if all the other signals are going to say that you might be seeing rain, if you've got some offshore winds that are going to be blowing from the east and the northeast, sometimes it can be really difficult to warm them up. And I've seen a lot of situations where a lot of people can expect to see rain in a lot of situations, but instead you're ended up seeing significant snowfall that's accumulating across the area. And the reverse happens as well. I've seen situations where a lot of the models and a lot of the overall consensus might be, it looks like we're going to see a lot of snow, but the winds are onshore, and as long as you've got that southerly wind coming up through Stewart and that southerly wind coming up through Kitimat, really hard to turn that over and actually get it cold enough to do that. So I've seen forecasts bust where they say 10, 20 centimeters of snow, but suddenly you've got wet roads throughout the whole area. And one of the interesting things is when you're doing that is you're thinking about where north to south along that boundary are we actually going to see the transition from rain to snow or from snow to rain. And sometimes it can be like a wall where you're driving northwards and it's not an elevation distance, it's just when the influence of either the sea breeze or the land breeze cuts off and you end up with driving from the rain, and then you turn the corner and suddenly you're in the thick of the snow. So I think anybody from that part of the world is familiar with this kind of situation and sees it a lot in the winter. But I think that's just one small example of one of the many things we could talk about the interesting dynamics and nuances across the British Columbia province.
Hello, my name is April Elliott. I am a real-time meteorologist at Avangrid Renewables in Portland, Oregon. I'm also on the Executive Council for the American Meteorological Society's Oregon chapter. And one thing I'm really excited about with AMS is that right now we are increasing our outreach and trying to get a wider demographic to become more involved with AMS. And this is extending beyond some of the things that we've been doing in previous years. So this includes reaching out to middle school and high school students, additional college students in the area, and just those in the community.
Just a taste of AMS
and a Frankie videos.
2025. We got Frankie videos coming up right next. We haven't heard from Hildinger or Karen. If you guys have questions for Chris Calais, well, he's still here too. And I'm setting up the Frankie videos next.
Yeah, I'm still available a little longer. I got a little bit more battery left. So, but I'm under 10%. So,
any more questions for Chris while we got him here? I guess not. What a great group, Shelly says, though. Just look what you've all created. And Mike's asking if some of those things will become online for the public. It sounds like it because Desi from NOAA already is. And that's, I haven't even really dug into it.
20-year anniversary for Hurricane Katrina. It hit in 2005.
It's coming up fast, isn't it, Frankie? 20 years already. 20 years. Well, let's look at the Frankie videos of the week if we have no questions for Chris. Once I'm ready. Oh, that's what I meant to say, Frankie. 300,000 subscribers. Congratulations.
Yes.
300,000. What day did you
start?
Yes, one
of Frankie videos.
Well, putting them on. I'm putting them on. I just had to say congratulations before I did. Okay, everyone ready to go?
Hey, everybody. Breaking news. My YouTube channel, Dogs and Wolves, now have reached up to 300,000 subscribers. I repeat, my YouTube channel, Dogs and Wolves, now reached up to 300,000 subscribers. Now I have 300,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel as of right now for Franktown. This is Frankie McDowell, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Santa Ana winds is continuing in Los Angeles, California, rest is Southern California. As for January 14, 2025, it's going to last for the next few days, and fire is going to spread westward direction, northwest of Los Angeles. It's going to continue burning and things like this. Make sure if your firemen ready and have your helicopters ready and have your hose ready to put out the fire with a lot of water. Make sure if you have a lot of water ready to put out the fires because the Santa Ana winds are going to get really worse. It's going to burn for the next few days in Southern California. And winds are going to be really powerful in Southern California, especially in Los Angeles and surrounding areas. And fire's going to get really bad. That's going to cause a lot of smoke up in the skies. Have your N95 masks ready because the winds are going to be really strong. It's going to trigger more fires in outside of Los Angeles and the rest of Southern California. Be extra prepared, be mentally prepared for people living in Southern California. It's going to continue as for Tuesday, January 14, 2025. It's going to continue for the next few days. Take care, stay safe. And don't get caught in the Santa Ana winds. Stay away from the fires and don't go near the fires. If you see any fires, don't go near the fires, nor more smoke. Don't go near the smoke either. Be safe.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, guys, we're going to do a guy being chased by a ton of gorillas. There's a ton of gorillas after me now.
There's a ton of gorillas after him. He's running. He's off on the run.
There's a lot of gorillas after me now.
There's a ton of gorillas after him right now. Frankie's on the run.
There's so many pack of gorillas after me now.
So many packs of them even.
There's a lot of gorillas after me now. There's a ton of it.
A ton of them. Look
These
out.
gorillas cannot stop chasing me.
Get out of there, Frankie. My goodness. That was awesome.
There's even more gorillas.
There's even more of them now. There was a ton in a pack, and then there's packs, but now there's even more. Frankie's still running. The gorillas are after him. He's on the run right there in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
There's so many pack of gorillas.
So many packs of them. It's unreal. No one's ever heard of such a thing in Sydney, Nova Scotia, but it's happened this week, friends. Well, as we know, because Frankie was on the show tonight, he is okay.
The gorillas finally got away.
They got away.
Thanks for watching. I'm Frankie MacDonald.
That's my favorite video in a while.
This is Frankie MacDonald, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major blizzards headed for Winnipeg, Manitoba on Friday, January the 17th, 2025. It's going to bring blown snow, drifts of snow, and things like this in Winnipeg, Manitoba. It's going to bring near zero visibilities in Winnipeg and the surrounding areas. It's going to bring really cold temperatures. Dress really warm, wear your warm clothes, and buy extra groceries and things like this to be extra prepared, since it's going to be extremely windy and lots of blowing snow around in Winnipeg, Manitoba, rain in Manitoba, Port Angeles, Manitoba. Once the blizzard's over, Winnipeg will be in a extremely cold weather for people living in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and surrounding areas. Be extra prepared. Dress extra warm. Have your heat pumps ready and furnaces ready. Keep the house warm. Have your ton of blankets ready. Keep you warm as well, because the wind's going to be so strong in Winnipeg, Manitoba. After the blizzard, temperature's going to turn really cold in Winnipeg and surrounding areas. Stay warm and be safe. Hey everybody, I'm holding the Frankie Doe action figure in my hand. This is a Frankie Doe action figure I'm holding in my hand as right now. It's made out of plastic. It has movable parts. It's great. It's an action figure of me. It looks great all the time. That's a Frankie Doe action figure I'm holding in my hand as right now. This is an action figure of me.
I need one.
This is the Frankie Doe action figure.
I like action figures more than bobbleheads.
And that's the Frankie Doe action figure I'm holding in my hand right now. Here it is.
It's so cool.
I'm holding the Frankie Doe action figure in my hand as right now from Frank Donald.
Frankie, what do you do when you have a ton of packs of gorillas after you? How do you get a, how do they?
I just make up my ideas. Doing videos, I make up my own ideas.
Where do the gorillas go, you think?
Gorillas could be anywhere.
Look out behind you. They could be there.
Could be anywhere. Hilding, how you doing? We only got like 3 minutes left. I haven't heard from you. I haven't heard from Karen. You're the quiet bunch in the back. I don't think we have Chris with us still. We might have lost him. Yeah, it appears so. That was awesome having Chris, though, from New Orleans. Excellent show, everybody. Excellent show. Hilding's still muted, so that's how it goes. What do you think, everybody? What did you like best tonight? What was your favorite part, Frankie? Justin, what's your favorite part? The gorillas are my favorite part, too.
Yeah, the gorillas I liked. Just getting to see Chris. I think that's my first time I've been on a video call with him, so it's cool. It's awesome.
It's been a while since we had him on the show. Yeah, it's true. And it's like he works so hard to give us such a quality show, only to have the gorillas come and steal the spotlight, you know?
Well, I don't know. Where did they escape to, Frankie? They're everywhere.
And gorillas finally got away.
They got away.
They could be anywhere at any time. They could even be up at your farm, Hilding.
Yep. No, we've got interesting weather over here, all right. How warm did you have it today, Joey?
I got up to 4.6 or 9 or something overnight last night or this morning.
Oh, yeah. because yeah, it was about +1 all day today, but yesterday it was up to like +5, +6, and then I went to Vanderhoof to get some parts for my trusty steed, my Bronco, and it was so foggy on the road. I was really surprised last night. It was hard to see where you're going. And I mean, we often have little patches of fog, but not as much as we were having there. It's really something.
It's about to get very cold in BC, not even not for very long, and not as cold as it's going to get for Justin. And I'm glad. That's why I live on this side of the mountains, truthfully. But
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, I love the cold. I love winter. I love snow. I love cold. And I got an art gallery coming up. I'm excited to get some footage of that to show on the show here. And I was just actually down there at Section 6 Brewery in Brandon earlier this afternoon, finding out kind of the placement where they're going to go on the wall and everything. So that'll be really...
in some places, how fast people drive in Germany on the Autobahn.
9 million kilometers an hour they're allowed to go, Frankie. There's no speed limit. They could do anything.
Cars can go over 500 on the Autobahn sometimes.
Yeah, did you see these pictures Justin took, Frankie? They're of snowflakes, and they're like microscopic snowflake pictures that make the snowflake really big, so you can see what a snowflake actually looks like if you were a flea.
Yep, it's pretty neat. Neat stuff.
And then over in Dubai, over somewhere in our Arab Emirates, you have 160-kilometer-hour speed limit.
Yeah, you can just do whatever you want. There's not even roads, so you can just drive through the desert as fast as you want. Frankie, how can everyone find you on the internet?
If you want to find me on social media, my thread is at Frankie MacD194. My Blue Sky is at Frankie MacD, and my formerly Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My Linktree is Frankie MacDonald. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD94. My TikTok is FrankDon94. My Clapper is FrankDon94. My Twitch is FrankDon94. My Snapchat is FrankieMacD1. My YouTube channel, Stocks Wolves, and my LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. Best luck to you. I'm Frank Don. You're listening to Comedeorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Atlantic. And Base Guy showed on Friday, January 17, 2025 at 11:50 p.m. Atlantic, 7:50 p.m. Pacific. Base Guy show, my segment. And did you hear about this? Forest fires will return in the summer in interior British Columbia.
I did hear about that, Frankie. I did, and I'm the one talking about it. I'm wearing my Granite Mountain Hotshots hat actually tonight that my friends from California gave me when I was. They came here to fight fires with us, and you know what I think, Frankie?
That's where Trevor lives.
I think if they come here and fight fires with us all the time, we always have to return the favor. That's the way it is, and people shouldn't get all political about that. I know there's a lot of things going on in the world, and Americans saying crazy things, but us going down there to help in Los Angeles is no different than
that
them coming
means
to help
that you
here.
could even meet Trevor in person.
Maybe someday I could. Maybe someday. I don't think I'll be going to fight fires in California ever. I don't have that kind of rank.
Anaheim, Riverside, Orange County, California.
I'm just a lowly contract leader, but hey, I'm good at what I do, and I love the work. That's what I do. And so that's Comedy Meteorology Report. I'm Joey Only here. Well, again, if you've been watching us on the Caribbean Weather Dude YouTube channel or hearing us on Spotify or, all of your podcasting platforms, Apple and places like that, you can find the podcast now on there. And of course, hearing us on radio stations in Prince George and Winnipeg and Kamloops, thank you. And to Rogers Television, thank you here in British Columbia. That is the show, I think, this week, Frankie.
That's the
anyone's
show.
got something better to say. That's the show, I think.
That's the show.
Okay, well, the live stream will continue, but that is the show.
Joey, the next thing you will be editing the video.
Yeah, I'll probably do that in the morning.
Already.
Yeah, well, sometimes Frankie's gone for now.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, sometimes I do it at night, but lately my back's been hurting from sitting here in the chair too much, making videos and doing stuff. So it's definitely a night where I'm going to go sit on the couch probably after this. And my wood stove's got nothing in it. It's getting cold in here. The piece that I had to put in the stove is too big to fit in the door. So when I muted myself during the podcast to throw it in there, I was like, oh, it doesn't fit. It needs to be put in the wood splitter. So I need to put a piece of wood in the stove. How you doing, Brandon? Now you got jokes that you weren't allowed to say on the air that you can say while I get this piece of wood going.
Just a couple of wild stories, some that were kind of R-rated, I guess, but
Let 'em
they're
have
not
it.
really jokes. It's just... Anyways, there's just a lot of weird stories that came out this week. Some of them
Yeah.
shouldn't be so bad, so wrong. But anyways, but they were good for radio. Some of the time, yeah. But yeah, just got school bus cancellations for tomorrow in the Northwest already, and oh yeah, doing emergency
Yeah,
cards.
I'm thinking that there's got to be some cancellations around Winnipeg area tomorrow, the Red River Valley. I actually made a post, and I may have pissed off some school administrators in the area, but I said, you got to be proactive here, because the language that Environment Canada is saying in advance of this blizzard, like, I would not want a school bus out on the highways tomorrow. I'm just being honest here.
Yep, and with what's going on in Alberta tonight, that's just what shows is going to happen in Manitoba tomorrow. So it's we got a tow ban in Leduc right now.
Yeah,
so
yes.
Now they can't go out.
Yeah, we got family there that just messaged my wife, said couldn't see the mailbox.
Yep.
Like, it's just
And
the
it's about
blizzard
to
is
hit-
so bad there.
Yeah, it's about to reach our area about an hour. Looks like the wind and the. I don't know if we'll get much blowing snow, but we'll get those gusts of 90 to 100k in the
Maybe I'll
next
have
hour.
to try and wake up in the early morning, 6 a.m. and see what it looks like outside. Might get some footage,
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be. Yeah, Red Deer's been gusting over 100 already. So yeah, it has been wild indeed. I'm just getting message after message after message here. So
Yeah,
people
let
are
us know what they're
saying,
saying, because this is good. This is good information. Let us know what your messages are saying.
Oh yeah.
It is an Alberta Clipper, but I was just going to say, because of how fast this is moving, I've heard before of term Saskatchewan Screamer. This would almost be like a Saskatchewan Screamer, how fast it's moving. Saskatoon area.
You got to put on the velocity on this thing, because that will show you where the winds are at. Kind of like when you move up, you can see that we've got a. If you switch over to Strathmore radar, you'll be able to see the line that's approaching us here.
Everything's in the way.
The next hour. So
like a summer shelf cloud, like a gust front you see off of like a
Oh yeah, there it is right there.
Boom. Yeah.
That's it right there. Oh yeah. That is going to get
the way.
wild in an hour here. And I'm ready.
Get ready.
Man,
going to be some smoking good wind going on there.
Smoking good. Well, we had a couple rounds today. That first one at noon, that one, so it was dead calm, and all of a sudden, boom, wind went right to the north, and it dropped 7, 8, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, dropped 5 degrees in 2 minutes.
26 meters a second. That's pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is with that too is that that's pretty close to the radar site, so those winds will be fairly accurate toward the surface.
Yeah, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
Just think of that. If there's a piece of snow is moved 26 meters in a second, and the radar went bloop. Here's the differential. That is, that's screaming, man.
Yeah,
it is.
And that really has moved since we started. Look at that up there too. You can really see. Wow.
So yeah, it feels like summertime again, except there's no thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
So there was a slight chance today. There's a little bit of I saw a couple cumulus clouds. There's a slight chance, but
28 meters a second.
Oh well.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the math on that?
But yeah, I got all kinds of videos on my page.
Let me calculate that.
Everybody's.
I always just run the calculation. You just Google 26 meters per second.
100 kilometers per hour, 28 meters a second.
There you go. Yeah.
100 kilometers.
I figured we were somewhere in that category.
This isn't showing the wind gusts. This is showing just wind speed. So like,
there could be what we can do.
Like 80 to 90 sustained winds going on here.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm still got that point at the wood stove in case. Just happened to get Hey, stay still. Stop moving around, thingy. Oh, I got charcoal on my face from the stove. There you go. I'm a real showman here. So what I can do is I can go to Windy, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
And all right, I got that set up.
That's crazy. 80 kilometers sustained. That's probably gusting 120, 110, 120.
Yeah. Yeah, the wind's starting to pick up now just a little bit. I can start to hear it. Doing it's not as strong as before, but yeah, it's once
well,
this thing hits, oh boy.
Here's the bad boy. Look at how fast that's moved today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, really, that's gone from northern BC and pulled itself together.
Manitoba now.
Like a rocket.
I'm gonna take a look at some.
And in 24 hours
observations.
from now, it'll be in northern Quebec. Like this, when you say screaming,
Oh, yeah.
Screaming's a great example. 65 gust in Edmonton.
Yep. 100
how up to date this will be.
Yeah, hey, like I'm feeling it's got to be way more than that.
I would think
Oh, yeah.
so. You're gonna, zoom in 57s, 69s. I'm sure, like as this gets updated through the night, you're gonna see some of those numbers change. 12 minutes ago, well, that's not too bad. 1 hour 56 minutes ago, see at the airport. 46 minutes ago on that one. 70.
70.
That's a
That's pretty
70.
good.
You got 69 from an hour 5 at CWCT. Right.
Yep, coronation there. Yeah, still a little westerly.
Brandon, do you have one of those handheld?
I need to get one of those.
Kestrel systems? Yeah, I need to get one of them too. Then you could go out and actually see what the gust is real time.
Yeah.
Were you seeing one of my videos I threw up there today? Where I'm well, here, we'll come back to this in a second.
Let's check it out. I hadn't seen it. For a long time I've been wanting to get a Kestrel myself.
I got a Kestrel video here, but it'll take me a second to find it.
Because I think it was this past fall up in Riding Mountain National Park, Moon Lake. Like my buddy Andrew and I, he's another Andrew Ham, he's a team member with the Weather Center Manitoba. We're up on Moon Lake, or not Moon Lake, Bald Hill in Riding Mountain National Park, and it's like the highest peak in Manitoba pretty much. And the winds were just flinging the rock shale. Like I literally got bruises on my legs from the rocks being flung into our bodies. But I would guess the wind gusts were like at least 110, 120 kilometers an hour, but I can't confirm that because I didn't have a handheld.
Here's what you can do with a handheld. Some notable changes in the last hour. Relative humidity right now is down to 33%. Temperature up to 28 degrees Celsius. So that's nearing crossover conditions. Winds are virtually dead. Slight inflow moving to the south to these developing thunderstorms, which will develop. I have seen visible lightning coming out of them. So heads up for the next half hour. The storm is developing and we are going to see it. Next report will be when I have something better to say. Instead of my usual 2 hours.
Bravo 1, copy.
Yeah, just there.
That's cool.
Little taste. Having that Kestrel in your hand can really make you a force to be reckoned with in the world.
Especially like storm chase season, like when you're standing in front of like a big gust front, like a shelf cloud, and then you feel the gust, like the winds hitting you. It's like you can estimate what the winds are going to be, but like to actually have that data in your hand is important.
Well, not just that though. Like if you recall my video of the storm that lit all the fires up in Wells this summer, at the time, some of the footage I was using, I had the Kestrel on a tripod, and I was taking a picture of the storm cloud, and you could see the humidex value, and so on and so forth, right? So I thought it was pretty neat that I could give you, such an example like of the data in front of the thing that we're looking at
For
in
sure.
a very non-technical way.
There's some thick cloud across southern Manitoba this morning. Then it kind of drifted south.
Look at the way that pulled across. That's crazy how it stretched out.
Wind shear, hey? It's got to be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really see that dry slot.
Look at that, man. North of British Columbia, 1042 millibar high pressure.
It's going to be cold.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold. But yeah, basically this thing yesterday that's now almost in Manitoba already, the center that low. Yesterday was just coming ashore last night. You know, if we could go 24 hours on this, which I can, but you know, why bother?
That's why the winds are so strong, because you got like 1042 and then 988. Like both those pressure systems fighting each other. I always say it's like two sumo wrestlers, you know, bumping their bellies together or something. You know, just get that intensity right in the middle.
You can almost see how convective that thing was too when it went through central Alberta. A little bit of convective clouds there. But
I really did, you know, I really do see that. Yeah, for
little
sure.
bit of instability.
We'll let it play again here
yeah.
and zoom in, and we'll.
There's a little shelf cloud today on some of the pictures I got sent.
I saw that. Surprised there wasn't any thunder snow, but maybe there wasn't a lot of like precip with it. I'm not
a
sure.
crazy looking day.
Yeah.
Probably not enough, just quite not enough instability to get any sparks, but it was close.
Yeah.
Today would have been the day to see it.
Thunder snow. I love it.
What a swirling, beautiful atmosphere, man.
I love it. Oh, I love these Alberta Clipper system. And we've been having a lot this year, and I think the Alberta Clipper train is just going to continue ramping up. Like I saw a forecast for the next 2 months in advance, and it looks like the entirety of the southern prairies is like above normal for snowfall. All of BC basically was way above seasonal or above average for snowfall going from now till March.
I really hope so, because the snow is not here, man. Like,
yeah,
the big mountain snow that I need to have to ensure that my town is safe for another summer isn't here right now. And I'm not convinced that the precipitation comes as snow.
True.
Necessarily through the next 2 months.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, the trend has been, if I look at the last number of years, more and more, like, I don't know. I'd never seen wells so dry as last year, and this is at the edge of the rainforest where I'm at. Right, this is like the only inland rainforest just over the hill for me. And if we can get that dry once, and I'm seeing this kind of snowpack still a year after when we thought we are going into La Nina, it's bad, man.
Yeah,
like, we need to be really, really saying, what the fuck are we gonna do now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I mean, maybe that snow will come in the next 2 months, but you saw yourself the La Nina is not predicted to stick around. You know, so we have to do a lot of makeup in a 2-month window to account for several years of drought, and then perhaps several going forward. Because temperatures are so high, do we flip back into El Nino fast? You know, I think that's a reasonable bet.
I don't know. It looks like Enso neutral. But it could be El Nino too, like a weak El Nino. I don't know does anybody know what Enso neutral does for like BC in terms of like rain and snowfall precipitation?
Well, it helped when we reached that this year.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, we've seen Enso neutral years that were disastrous here.
Almost need like a good atmospheric river going up towards Prince George.
Like the reality is when you get to summertime, and if you get 2 weeks of areas getting close to 30 degrees and that humidity being real low and everything gets the moisture sucked out of it, the forest turns tinder dry. I mean, that's the nature of this place, right? So the longer you can have snow and have that moisture and have large sections of the province that are still cool, and when you have huge snowpacks in the mountains, spring stays cooler longer. It stays more humid in the province longer. I mean, that's just a matter of fact. What does more snow do when you add it to a system? And the system is warming up in the spring and sun is getting on it. It adds moisture to the system. So even if you're not getting a lot of rainfall, you're still getting high humidex values. It's keeping things cooler. It's delaying when fire season can start.
And you want a good wet snow too, because like the recent snow we had in Manitoba was like 5 centimeters of just fluff. Like that's why it's blizzard and blowing snow around. Like, and that's just dry stuff. Like that's not going to bring you any moisture, really.
Generally, the fluff is all you have here, but you can go and walk on top of the snow in wells, and that's not normal in January, man. January 2014. Now this is the 16th, so on the 12th of January in 2014. We'd gone through 6 days of having no power because there was so much snow that all our trees were falling down on power lines. So 6 days to start the year out of the 12, we had no power in wells. Everything was buried. We had no place to put fucking snow. It had been snowing for weeks, nonstop, like it should here. And I got called with Brad Davies and Chance to go out to QR Mill, which is like 60 kilometers down a logging road, in which the road, literally, if we'd rolled down, I'm driving, and at one point I was like, hey, Brad, you're an old guy. Like, you're good at this shit. You want to take over? Or just like, are you guys feeling okay with my driving? Like, yeah, you're fine. I was like, damn, because it was like literally if you put the window down, you could touch like snowbank out each side of the truck, and there's like 1.5 to 2 feet on the ground, and all these trees are like leaning over the logging road out to QR. And I know if we come across a tree that's down across the road, and there's like 2 guys at QR that we might be able to get on the radio, and they're good luck turning around. There was so much snow, it was crazy. Even in close to Quesnel at QR at Quesnel River, there was so much snow, and we had to like shovel the roofs off of all the buildings, and we couldn't help it. We triggered avalanches that ended up in all the windows and some of the office buildings getting smashed out. It's like nothing you could do to remove the snow without accidentally making it just fucking go. Like that's 10 years ago, right? 11 years ago. And we haven't had too many big snow winters since. And that was a typical winter at the time. We've had some big snow winters, and we still had, most winters more snow than a lot of people have ever seen in their lives. I mean, even right now, I got big mushrooms of things on top of, stuff, you know what I mean? When the snow makes a big mushroom.
Yeah, I was just looking at this next week. It doesn't look like a lot for BC, but it's interesting because when I'm warm in Manitoba, it usually means you're snowy in BC. If I'm cold, it means you're pretty dry.
Yeah.
Because of the high pressure and the low pressure.
And you're going to be cold, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that shit.
And you're not going to be snowy, so that kind of sucks. But I enjoy the colds.
Don't go outside.
Got to try and do some more different winter stuff, like the hot water toss and the frozen bubbles and stuff.
Like getting
to do the ramen noodles.
I should try that, and I wanted to try.
I did that last year. It was good.
I wanted to try jeans, like putting jeans in water and then going outside and standing.
Yes.
The jeans are just standing up by themselves. If I do
or
try,
toss them like a frisbee.
Video of that.
There you go.
That'd be cool for the show. That'd be really cool.
Oh yeah.
Pun intended.
Look at that. By Sunday afternoon, that low has just dragged everything. Watch this. This is crazy. Watch this. Boom.
Awesome.
Oh boy. Wait. We'll zoom in here for a second. And look at Colorado getting 25 below.
I heard that Houston, Texas could be getting a snowstorm here this week.
That is what I'm about to show you.
Yeah.
Watch this cold. Right to Mexico. Chihuahua. -1 in Chihuahua.
You're going to be wearing winter coats in New
-2
Orleans.
in Houston.
Yeah.
And, okay, what was the other thing? So there's
day after tomorrow.
There you go. Look at that. See this right here?
Yeah.
See this flow?
Right there. Yeah.
There you go. Now watch. There's a first-year thunderstorm outbreaks. But here comes Buddy sliding in behind.
There's the snow. Yeah.
Here it comes.
Ooh.
Oh, there
Oklahoma.
it is.
Yeah. Right there. Boom.
There it is, hitting midnight on Tuesday almost.
Killeen, Texas. That's where I went this spring with my wife to see the total solar eclipse. And there's cactuses and everything. Like, couldn't imagine seeing that scene with snow. It'd be really cool.
And look how it just pulls its act together miraculously. Here we go. So I got all that
Gulf moisture.
First you got that first flow there that made all those thunderstorms. Then we got the second one straight into it.
And look at the winds. The winds are just driving right into that high pressure. It's
like a mid-latitude cyclone in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. It's too bad that that AMS wasn't next week.
Yeah, it'd be just getting fucking ruined.
Now, because Chris and Mark would be able to get some really nice footage down there. Snow in New Orleans. Yeah.
Where did everybody go? Oh, it's snowing.
That's heavy snow, man.
That is.
For them especially. There's gonna
Yeah.
be places I'd never seen snow before. I called it. I
Even
called
Florida.
it like last weekend.
Manhattan, Florida. Yeah. Where they
Called it
had
last weekend already.
major hurricanes. Now they're getting a snowstorm.
That is nuts. Look at that. And
Look at
that's
that
your
high
temperature divide.
Right behind it. Wow. Frozen
And then look-
iguanas.
And
And
this
the
will get
iguanas
so
fall.
mad. Let's see how mad it gets. Does it get mad enough to go to England?
Nor'easter maybe on the East Coast?
Or does
Not
it
quite.
does it wrap around? We'll see what this model says. I mean, this is far out, so who knows?
It's kind of fun to
Ah,
watch.
it goes to England. Bam!
Greenland.
Look at that. Oh, it's gonna fucking knock their houses over.
954. Ooh.
Look at that, man.
953.
If that happens,
957.
oh my god. The UK and the northern France are gonna get absolutely fucking demolished.
Ireland, they'll have to go to the pub to drown out their sorrows.
So
Now,
look at that. How
they
one
typically name their storms over there, so I wonder what name they're going to give that one if it occurs.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's actually still watching or not, but
It's only a week out. Could
you know,
happen.
for the public, if you are watching, you know, imagine how that one little storm there in BC, you know, just a tail that turned into a storm, jumped
Yeah.
into the prairies today, become a Alberta Clipper, go off, pull this cold air down behind it, all that cold air hits this shit, flies off and destroys the United Kingdom. It's like it's so
It's amazing, man. It's awesome.
you know, that is a wild that's a
Like-
wild winter outbreak. That's gonna
Yeah.
give us stuff to talk about all next week.
Yeah.
You know?
I always say the best weather is active weather. I'm not all for like the destruction and stuff, but as a weather enthusiast, how do you not love a 950 millibar low?
Hey, this can fuck off. When did
trees
this
are made-
start?
Eye candy.
When did this show up in the models?
Arctic outro.
That's a long ways
Welcome
away.
to-
So
welcome to
hopefully
winter.
That doesn't happen. No
I think
fucking
that
kidding.
the European model was showing another blast at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not good for your snow chances because the longer that high pressure holds on, there's not going to be any snow.
It's not good for me. I need to go get more firewood.
Yeah, that,
I was like,
Firewood.
well, it's been a nice mild winter. I can just go get a tree when I need one. Fucking who cares? I do have like wood outside, but it's not in this shed. So I might as well get another tree.
Well, I was down to my last 3 blocks of wood today, and then my neighbor offered to take me out and get a load of firewood with his processor on his dump trailer. And he came into my yard to try to back the dump trailer in, and my whole yard is a sheet of ice. And he went sliding across the yard with the pickup and dump trailer straight sideways right into the car that I'm driving right now that happens to be a loaner from the shop that's working on my truck in town.
You didn't say this during the show.
I didn't have a chance. I'm sorry. My mouse froze up and I couldn't click my my voice on when I wanted to talk.
I love the bloopers, Hilding. It's funny. Like
That is-
last time when you just froze up or like you left. That was just so funny.
Well, tonight I went to try to get my mouse to click, and then it went and muted the whole page, and I had to boot it up again.
Man, there is no mercy. No, don't happen. Come on, where's that Pacific Storm? What's this about? No, why? Why does that have to happen, guys? What made that happen? What did I miss? Oh man.
Well, there's a little snow.
Yeah, the atmospheric river there. Yeah, so next week it's snowy again. It beats back this weather. That's, we expect that. And here's this guy. He's going to go up. This jet stream's really been hitting the Aleutians there, Alaska Panhandle, sorry. But it's
It's
not.
just weak though. It's weak. Like normally you're
it's
seeing
not.
960, 950 out there hanging around. It's like
It's
990s.
It's
Oh, no.
bouncing the wrong way.
Not very strong.
Hanging up.
970 back further there.
No. We need this to turn into something mad.
It might do it eventually. February, maybe. March.
Oh, I don't want minus 30. And hey, I love winter. I live in the mountains, man. It's like I get like my ice doesn't thaw on the Jacket Club's Lake till after Mother's Day. You know, like I'm all for winter, but it's like if I could have the nice BC coastal winter and none of your screaming northern fucking kill you crap, that's great. It's like pile the snow on. I want 30 feet of snow and I want no minus 30. Is that too much to ask?
Well, if your house is covered with 30 feet of snow, then it could be minus 30. You wouldn't even feel it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, snow is a good insulator.
That's the worst thing I ever seen right there.
Nightmare, Joey.
Yeah, I'm totally unhappy. I do want to spend some time playing on this Desi. It's so cool.
I love it. I don't know why they won't include Canadian cities and towns. Like the labels just stop right at the border. That's so annoying. It's just a map. Show the towns.
I know, it's like
Lazy.
they refuse to learn about anywhere outside of America. It's what it is.
It's a city label. We're not asking you to do everything, bells and whistles. Like you should show the cities anywhere in the world. Like who cares?
Yeah. Instead, it says not America.
Right. So I had actually taken a screenshot of the snow potential for central Manitoba from Desi, and I actually had to go into like Microsoft Word or Photoshop, whatever I used, and add in the cities myself. I was like, this sucks. This is taking way too much time. They should just have the cities there. I was kind of on a bit of a rage myself. But
Well, you just run through the model in your video, and then go
Right,
through go through it again in another site that's got your,
that
the rest of the world exists in. But to be fair, I don't see cities here either. It just says Omaha. It's like all that exists in America is New York City and Omaha.
I think if you
And,
go in, it might show more when you zoom in. I'm not sure.
I think so. Yeah. It's just, I
But,
thought that's
yeah.
funny that Omaha stands out. It's like,
Omaha, Nebraska.
yeah, it's like,
What I
yeah,
like,
have you been to
though, is
America? They
that-
have Los Angeles and Delaware. Like no one says that.
This is the first website that I've seen that actually has the national blend of models for free, which I'm very happy about because sometimes there's major variance between like the NAM and the RDPS and the GFS, whatever. So it puts a blend of them together to give you kind of your average thoughts, which I really like.
Someone sent
And
me
it's
a
cool
video.
to see like, so there's like a 50% chance of more than 4 inches of snow. Like that's
yeah,
kind of the probability.
Castor. That's blizzard conditions. Yeah, burst.
Where's that?
Good old Castor.
Castor, Alberta.
Oh, I see.
Castor,
I was clicking
Alberta.
what I thought was the zoom. I was clicking on it, and it was actually slowing it
Yeah,
down. I was
sure
like,
that.
wow, this map's not moving.
I'm going to be very interested to use it in the summer for different model products there, like wind shear and cape, stuff like that.
Timing.
That too, yeah.
So what does this mean? Like I got to learn what all these things mean. It just did something. I don't even know what it did.
Timing for
shaded.
temperature. Interesting.
I don't know what that even means. So we need the meteorologist here sometimes.
Right. Probability of the temperature below freezing. That's nice. Yeah. Pretty
Right
much
down
everywhere.
to Mexico, man. Right down into Mexico. This is going to be a historic bunch of stories.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Things
the
are gonna
coldest.
happen
The coldest January that the U.S. has seen in years.
there's going to be a lot of stories. So yeah, figuring out, I guess, with this, I have to like look at everything here. It's so cool. Wind and the problem is when I go to, it doesn't
I
stay.
think some of the. Oh, sorry, Joe. You can go
It
ahead.
doesn't
There.
stay on it when I try to click on it for some reason.
Oh,
there
yeah.
it goes. It's because of our banner thing is in the way that it says.
I think what this is doing though, and I think kind of what Chris had said, this is good for everybody because I don't know if you've noticed, but COD and Pivotal Weather, they are kind of revamping their websites and like creating mobile apps and stuff for the models. Like having this free product out is basically pushing and forcing the other model sites to do better as well and create better products. So I think it's a win for everybody, honestly.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
You know, like if Weatherbell is want me to pay $600, but I can get similar things now for free. But this is what the Americans were saying. That's what the 2025 Project 2025 guys are saying. That well, everyone should be paying for access to this. So what's happened right here has come out faster than the Trump people want to shut this kind of thing down. They don't want good weather reporting. They don't want good climate data. It's bad for capitalism because they want just, burn as much fossil fuels as we can.
What I like too here on this website here is under the maps option, you can go and see like there's a vulnerability tab where you can see like places where people don't own a vehicle or under a certain amount of wage that they make or whatever. I think it's cool because, when a hurricane happens, you can see the most vulnerable, like under vulnerability a little bit right there.
Wow.
And then you see households without a vehicle, without internet, mobile homes for like tornado season. Like I really like that implementation. It takes a while for it to load in. It's like a background on the map, I found. It's just really slow.
It's kind of like when you use the cave portal. Like all this that's available here is in the cave portal. I don't know if you have the cave portal. I do. But I don't use it because it takes about 3 minutes for every time I add something to it to actually show up.
Right. Yeah. So it's
you
a
can
good
layer
option.
everything on top, so it's great. But I've used it sometimes during I used it to predict that storm that hit Wells this summer. Because I was like, well, I need information at a higher level here. If I have a feeling something's going to happen, I'm just sniffing the air, and the air seems like in the next 3 days something's going to pop.
Like I just love the vulnerability thing though, because it's bringing that social aspect. Like weather does honestly impact different levels of whatever, like, people who are rich or poor, like, it impacts poor people more disproportionately than wealthy. So I think it's cool to have that. I really wish Environment Climate Change Canada would have something like that. There it is there in the background.
Yeah, I finally figured out how to make it work. So when you're looking at like tornado possibility,
for like severe weather season, that's going to be key. Like, well, where are there mobile homes? Is it in a tornado area? That's like susceptible to this. Like, it's neat.
Look at some convective storms. Check out look at all of it together and see that you're dialing in where your thunderstorms are going to be, and you know, and you're who's most at risk, and
it's going to be cool, man. I think this is going to be one of my main sites that I use now, even though it's mainly based for the US, but you can use it in Canada too.
Yeah, if they put some names on Canada, but if I get really adept at it, I'd really like using Windy.
Yeah, but it's like what Chris said. They should have done it in collaboration with Environment Climate Change Canada, because then you see the vulnerability background thing, it stops right at the border. Like that would be really key information to have.
Well, that's because
for
we're
us.
not vulnerable up here. We're fucking strong.
As forecasters, though.
They know we're strong, and that's why they want our country.
Strong and free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think this can be a blueprint for like Environment Climate Change Canada if they want to do something like this in the future.
Well, I don't think it's too late for them to get involved.
No, that too.
Oh, multi-panel views. I don't know how to turn it on, but it seems like there's a multi-panel view that's going to be put in here.
I don't know where Chris had said like you can go in and like type in your own stuff. Oh, right there. Enter headline here.
Oh, wow.
Nice. We rule.
Oh, wait, sorry. I'm not looking at my keyboard here. It's when I got the mic in my way, I find it really. I don't look at the keyboard when I'm typing, but that first letter, you look down, like, got to hit the first letter. Like that.
What I think that NOAA was smart implementing this because there are so many like Ryan Halls or like you and I who do our own forecasting thing. But if they create something like this where people can go in and kind of almost do their own forecasting or their own write-ups, but it's based on good data from NOAA or the National Weather Service, I think that will help cut down on some of the hype forecasts and some of the nonsense that's out there.
There, I screenshotted that. We rule and Ryan Hall, y'all drools. That's worth it.
What do you think, Justin? Why is the reason that the trailer courts always get hit by tornadoes?
I don't know. I just think that it's going to be key to have this data to look at and say, so we have a high risk and it's in a very populated area where there's a lot of mobile homes. It's like, okay, then maybe that morning we need to go in and like almost door to door knock and say, hey, we need you guys to be prepared. Like, I don't know about evacuate, but like you need to seriously pay attention later because there could be tornadoes or whatever, right? Like, I think it's good to see that data there.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that if a tornado strikes, like a house, that you wouldn't want to alert people in a house too, but mobile homes were more like susceptible to taking damage and catastrophic damage in a tornado.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. It's just sort of funny. Like, I mean, like even Toby Keith has the song there, the trailer, in the trailer hood, and in the song he says, better grab your lawn chair. There's a tornado coming. And the thing is, like, it's a common thing that's known.
It is that
whenever there's a tornado, there's a trailer court that gets hit by one.
And it's unfortunate, but I wonder if it has to do with like maybe like tornadoes hit a lot of rural areas, urban as well, but like Oklahoma, like Texas, like I don't think those are necessarily wealthy states. Maybe when you look at inside of a central urban setting, but in rural areas of Texas and Oklahoma, there's a lot of poor people that live there that would probably be more able to afford a mobile home versus an actual house. So, and just the fact that tornadoes strike in Tornado Alley, like the alley, I think is relatively poor relative to,
I helped clean up for tornadoes twice around Edmonton, and both times it went through a trailer court.
It's just fate.
Edmonton isn't just known for trailer courts.
No,
well, that's why it's like when I'm in Vancouver, like I just want to get out as fast as I can before the earthquake hits, and I feel that way when I'm in a trailer park. I'm just like, fucking get me out of here.
Right?
I hear thunder, I'm out. Bye.
It's like I need my house
Good
to
luck.
have a basement or something. I can't do trailer court. No way. Being knowledgeable in the weather field is like, how can you own a mobile home?
Yeah.
Or you better make sure you have a shelter nearby.
Exactly.
Right? I always say, like, people are scared of like a tornado, that's going to kill them. I'm like, I feel like that's the least thing that I'm concerned about. Like, I go and chase them, so like maybe I'll be killed out chasing, but there's no way that a tornado is just gonna sneak up behind my shoulder when I'm in my house. Like, I'm looking at radar 24/7. I know when there's going to be a severe weather outbreak. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, well, if I think the weather is going to permit it, I'm definitely paying attention.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen easily for me.
I look at the models.
And what I found chasing storms is, except for the lightning, when you're out there and you can watch it doing its thing, I was able to say, well, it's going to happen over there, so I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to sit here and watch it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Whereas when you're just sitting in your house in your trailer park and you're watching, I don't know, Jerry Springer, and you're having, you're drinking your 7th beer and yelling at your wife to get the fucking chips, and next thing you know, like, it came out of nowhere. They're saying, you're on the news saying later, and that's a lot of people's experience.
But it didn't. It just doesn't come out of nowhere.
No, no, that was I know when I was at wow, that's so cool.
Wow, that is neat.
So yeah, I was in. Remember, I was telling you before I was in Alberta when in Calgary when that $400 million hailstorm hit in 2010. And it was like
Yeah.
the front page of the next day was the front page of the Sun, and it was like all these people in town for the rodeo, right, for Stampede, and they're all saying like it came out of nowhere. It came out of, it was like headline, right? And I was like, some cowboys. It's like we've had 8 days of thunderstorms. And you could look over on the foothills and you're like, wow, look at that one. That's gonna be bad soon. Like, it didn't come out of nowhere. Like you just weren't fucking paying attention.
Yeah, well, not everybody's weather nerds like us, eh?
Well, still, if you're
Yeah.
putting on a cowboy hat and acting like you're this to that, you should be able to recognize a storm. I mean,
Well, just your basic ingredients to create a storm. Is it humid outside? Is it, do we have the,
before
you know, like,
baseball size hailstones are hitting you in the head.
yeah.
Like that's what was happening, right? It's like
And
they're
it's
all
funny because
at the
Alberta,
Stampede drinking beer. Woohoo! It's like 2 PM. Fucking
Alberta
softballs are hitting you.
they're the most prepared for a hailstorm, really, because they go and they do the cloud seeding or whatever. Hey, the program they have to try and like suppress the hail, but it doesn't work all the time. I think I
No.
actually think it's a big waste of money, and I wish they didn't do it. But it's the insurance companies, I guess,
It's a
trying
big waste
to
of money. I think
not
this
do it.
hailstorm that just happened in Calgary last year proved that.
They were seeding the heck out of that storm.
They were trying everything to make it fucking rain.
Yeah, and I think it made it worse. It made the hail worse, actually.
It probably did, for all we
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I don't know the science well enough. If I'm sure Chris or Mark could have opinions if they saw
think
some
so.
of the data on that. But
Yeah.
to me, I don't know. Like, I
I
get
just don't like it. I don't like messing with storms. I think it's just a natural thing. Like, just let it happen. Be prepared, but just let it happen.
I don't think it works, whether it makes it worse or not. I don't know. Maybe it's worked a few times, but it's like we don't know. It's like, well, it would have rained anyways, maybe.
Right.
Like
It's like the movie Geostorm. You ever watch that movie? Where they're
no.
trying to like control the weather. No, it's all right, but
Sounds like hell.
yeah,
Sounds
they
like
got this like whole bunch of satellite things like covering the entirety of the globe, and it's like they can control the weather. It's an interesting movie. It's an interesting concept.
it's just propaganda. They put that stuff out there, and then all these dummies in trailer parks are like, government's controlling the weather, just like that movie. Give me my 8th beer. Holy shit, tornado! Can't happen here. The government did it. Came out of nowhere.
But I like the transparency from NOAA. I like it. But I also understand what you're saying with the government trying to like suppress this information to keep that propaganda going. It's
Well,
it's
just
it's a win
it's
for
how
NOAA.
it's how conspiracy theories take off and dig in. It's
Yeah.
like someone's like, "Oh, look at this conspiracy theory. Well, let's make a movie about it."
Yeah.
And then it helps reinforce the cultural misunderstanding.
Mhm. Yeah. You can look at this stuff all the time. 500 millibar relative humidity. That's good to know though, like higher up in the atmosphere, do we have moisture? What's the humidity like?
This is
Kinda
going to
gives a good
change
angle
a
on
lot of
your
things for me, I think.
low pressure systems there.
It'll mean I spend way more time staring before I make a video, and
Right.
I spend so much
Yeah.
time doing that already.
Look at right there. There's like 2 holes. Looks like some boobies or some balls or something there over Minneapolis, Ontario.
Yeah, there you go. Big sort of cock thing there. Yeah. Well, I gotta make some food. I think I'm getting hungry, and we've been
Man,
talking now
can't
for-
be hungry. The caribou weather dude getting hangry.
always hungry.
Me
'Cause
too.
I don't know. I hardly ever eat. It's like I'm old and can't be bothered anymore. I'm just so fucking bored of having to
I don't have
cook.
time to.
Oops.
What you're looking at the cloud covers here, and I wish when we were down in Texas when it was like the solar eclipse that we had this cloud cover data. That would have been very useful. Because I got to see it, but there was enough like high level clouds that just kept coming by that it wasn't a crisp view. So now I'm like, I can't wait for the next one.
Look at that cold coming in. There'd be no cloud there.
Well, alrighty, I think I'm headed out. Nice to be on the show tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad you came. It was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Good having Chris on again.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, like he's in New Orleans. It's like one of these special times. We haven't had Chris on for a long time. It's tonight's the AMS show.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be like, well, fuck, we need something to talk about, boys.
I'll send you the frozen pant video.
Yeah, okay, do it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, everybody, hit like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and you know, send a super if you wish, and have a great weekend. Stay warm.